Welcome back to Proverbs 365. So glad that y'all were able to join us today. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of January, and it's also our hump day, which means we get our hump day challenge along with the PLTD. We're going to be looking at Proverbs chapter 9, verses 4 and 5. So before we get started, Teddy, if you wouldn't mind doing the honors, reading us our scripture for today.
I'm reading from the New King James Version, and it's Proverbs chapter 9, verses 4 and 5. And it says, "Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, 'Come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed.'"
Yeah, man, today is like a continuance of yesterday's PLTD, but this time it's for everyone. Yesterday we spoke about the men specifically, and we hope, men, you're doing that call out, internal, accountability to yourself. But this is talking to everybody. And the call for an awareness to be applied to our lives through an internal exploration is presented in an invitation. God, through wisdom, is calling out to us and hoping, he's wanting, needing us all to react positively. And the internal exploration is given in those three simple words of whoever is simple.
Yeah. And I mean, if we look at this, we are all simple in some capacity or aspect of our lives, which leads to the question of how can we know where our simplicity in our lives are? And basically, you have to ask yourself the question: okay, am I doing this part of my life, in complete accordance to God? So where, and if you're saying, okay, no, I'm not, or even just like, saying, okay, maybe, or a little bit, then you just found where the simplicity is in your life. And so basically this is saying, listen to wisdom and turn away from those things that may be that may be causing that simplicity in your life, or turn to something else to bring about more abundance in your life, where you're going to be to make a bigger impact in God's kingdom. And that's not just simply, we're not just talking about making money or having better time management, or even getting a job or a better job. We're talking about really something that's truly going to impact the kingdom of Christ.
Yeah, it's so much more than just some of the materialistic things that we look to get, when we're even in our prayer. So much more than that. And that leads us to our Hump Day Challenge. So here's our Hump Day Challenge I want us all to do for the rest of the week, as we go through the next few days of the week. What I'm speaking of are the things in our lives, and what we both are speaking of are things in our life that do not produce the proper fruit of which God has promised us, nor does it produce leaves which will never wither. And all that, if you read Psalm chapter 1, especially very specifically verse 3, we see the promise that we will be like the trees planted by the rivers of water, and whose fruit and whose leaves will grow in its due season, and they will never wither. So I say this because wisdom is urging us to turn from our simplicity, and in return she will provide items of sustenance and nourishment. Not just a better way, but just really the best way to do life. So ask yourself this, and truly ask yourself, are you recognizing your simple ways and hearing the cries of wisdom to your heart? If so, are you then responding by accepting the invitation of coming with wisdom, or communing with wisdom, and therefore opening up your life to be to the sure promises of God, of which come through wisdom? If not, then there's no time like the present to start performing this in your life. I know I'm ready to get that bread and wine that wisdom has.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you're ready, then the question is, who wants to join us? So that's the Hump Day Challenge. We hope that you adhere to the call of wisdom in your life, to those that are simple. And like Teddy said, we all are simple. So let's find the simplicity in our life and answer the call. So that's all we got for today. That's Proverbs chapter 9, verses 4 and 5, along with your Hump Day Challenge. So God bless.